In the first half of this assessment task, I will be looking at my educational history and examining what has made me the person I am at this point of time, especially relating to my personal and professional development as a teacher and the beliefs and values I hold about education. With the rapid expansion of technology follows a heavy reliance and dependence of the use of it, making it an integral part of our lives as 21st century students. Undergoing my journey as a student in the 21st century as a digital native, a toll was taken on my educational history. So, what is a digital native? A digital native is seen to be a person born or brought up during the age of digital technology, and they are seen to be familiar with computers and internet from an early age. This is why I am considered to be a digital native. The term of digital native was coined and popularized by educational consultant Mark Prensky in his 2001 article entitled Digital Natives and Digital Immigrants. In this article, Prensky highlights how educators have failed to understand and meet the needs of modern day students. As a 21st century learner in the future of technology, I believe that I have had to become a self-directed learner as society has pressured the standards of all millennials having the ability to navigate and manage their own education in innovative and technological ways. Establishing models for the not-so-distant future can ensure educational growth for future students. Throughout this task, I will be telling you my philosophy of teaching statement, supported and strengthened by the teachings and readings that I have studied throughout the EDES 101 unit, as well as my reflection on examples of my educational history that has led me to pursue the career that I have chosen of being a primary teacher. Firstly, let's begin with why I wanted to study being a teacher. Let's go back to where this all started, my educational history. As I began with, I started to shed a light on why I wanted to be a teacher. The biggest influence in my life is my mother, especially in regards to finding my feet and pursuing my dream career. From such a young age, all I remember is sitting by my mum's side as she marked tests and quizzes, created lesson plans and programs, and marked her students' classwork and bookwork. I was always fascinated in this topic and always questioned what it was and what it all meant. A constant question that I would ask my mum is, why did you choose teaching? Which she would always reply with, you will understand as you get older. When you have a passion for something, it's more of a lifestyle rather than a career. I never understood what this meant until I grew older. As a student developing mentally, spiritually, and physically, my educational journey was greatly supported by my mother's knowledge in the field, her wisdom, and dedication as a primary teacher. My mother demonstrated to me the importance and the intricacies of the fundaments and foundations of learning, and how the teaching profession goes beyond the classroom. Teaching had always been a passion of mine, which grew as I matured and understood the impact that my mother had on her students. Teaching is not just a career where you build a student's academic knowledge to tick off the boxes in the curriculum, but it is a career where you create unique bonds with each individual in your classroom, and where you can meet and understand the needs, strengths, and weaknesses of each child. Watching my mother build and support her students' mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual characters greatly inspired me to be more like the woman that she is. Speaking about my own educational journey. In primary school, I attended a Catholic school. I believe that my schooling experience was spiritually and academically supported, particularly in grade 6, where I was guided through my personal conflicts. To be completely honest, I didn't have much recollection of my primary school experience up until stage 3. This is where I became more aware of the importance of my education and how the influence of my classroom setting can affect my ability to grow as a student. My Year 6 teacher, Mr. Mayo, was another influential figure in my educational history. She believed that her classroom should be seen as a learning space where students can communicate thoughts, ideas, and learning experiences to establish a workplace where development and confidence is built. Having a collaborative classroom where me and my classmates worked together, I felt confident in expressing my ideas, answers, and thoughts, as I knew that rather than being wrong and moving on, I would be provided with structural feedback from my peers, growing my knowledge on the particular topic that we are learning. Looking back and reflecting on this part of my educational history, I could see how my teacher, Mr. Mayo, used trial and error and the implication of different methods to ensure that her students were receiving and reaching not just the required standards set, but were taught in innovative and creative ways to mould educational and scholastic flourishment. Through the reflection and analysis of my mum and Year 6 teachers' schooling methods in relation to my personal experiences, I can understand the importance of teachers having a good relationship with their students and the ability and control they have over the growth and development of an individual's character. Therefore, leaving me with my philosophy statement being providing a classroom environment that stimulates active contribution and encouragement to students where they can academically, creatively, and spiritually apply themselves, while simultaneously establishing a workspace which guides each student to flourish and reach their full potential. My goal as a teacher is to help and nurture society's future students so that they are informed and motivated citizens with social consciences. As a teacher, I also portray myself and see myself as being a lifelong learner, where I am dedicated to evolve my teaching philosophy to comprehensively suit and navigate the changing needs of education. As I previously mentioned, I strive to be a teacher that creates strong interpersonal relationships with my students and constantly seek to find new ways and techniques of incorporating creativity and hands-on learning activities that are tailored to fit the curriculum. Ensuring In doing this, I am ensuring that my students can uniquely apply their knowledge in in learning the set content in innovative and creative ways. When brainstorming and developing my own personal teaching philosophy, I had been heavily influenced by two philosophers, one being Jean Piaget and the other John Dewey. Inquiry should not be understood as consisting of mind passively observing the world, but rather as a process which initiates a successful human action and proceeds to actively manipulate the environment. This quote by John Dewey dwells on his belief that education must engage with experiences rather than written work. His concern with interaction provides a framework for practice and creative education. I see this as great inspiration in my teaching philosophy, as I would like to bring a creative dimension into my classroom, ensuring that each student has unique learning experiences which is fit to their personality and suits their learning habits, ensuring that they take away the material and content learned in my lessons. The second philosopher that has a great influence on my philosophy is Piaget. Piaget looks at the theory of cognitive development. He believes that there are 4 stages of cognitive development. His theory of cognitive development implies that intelligence changes as children grow. A child's ability to acquire knowledge is not just achieved through mainstream structured lessons, but applying themselves in a series of different ways. This can help a child construct a different cognitive parts and stages of their brain. The 4 stages a child goes through is objective permanence, symbolic thoughts, logical thoughts, and scientific reasoning. No stage is seen to believe to be missed out as they all make up for each other. This demonstrates the importance of symbolic learning and creative ways in grasping new ideas and materials and letting it register into your brain. After gathering these findings and reflecting on my own personal educational history, I can gather how these all make it important to being a teacher. This EDE, the EDES 101 unit and the readings that I have gathered research on have built my knowledge and understanding on the topic and how important your teaching philosophy is in discovering new alternative ways to becoming the best teacher that I can be. Dewey and Piaget also influenced my desire in becoming a teacher and further enforcing their findings in ensuring that I upkeep their practices, and my own philosophy through my journey of pursuing my dream career.